What's up, DIY Queens? It's your design bestie, Cara Newhart, and this is Make Space. So welcome back to Make Space. Today, I'm so excited to be talking about women in real estate, how to buy real estate, how to buy a house, and how to invest. So welcome, Marina. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Cara, for having me.
My gosh, I'm so excited. So I love talking about people's journeys and discovering how they got into their current path. So how did you get into real estate initially?
How did I get into real estate? So I graduated from university. I traveled America to choose where I wanted to live because I wanted to figure it out for myself. I moved to San Francisco because I loved the city. And I spent a year just like exploring the city, teaching ballet bar. And then there was like a natural moment where I was like, okay, I'm ready to become the woman that I want to become. I'm ready for a career. I'm ready. There's that natural moment. Mm-hmm. So I thought about what I wanted to do, and having a boss is just not my jam. People tell me what to do. Just no, I'm good.
Right.
So, and I knew a realtor, and he let me shadow him for a while. And I was interested in real estate and the lifestyle. Like I liked shadowing him. But of course, he made me do like, his bitch work, but I still really liked it. So I got my license, and that's how I started. I started in leasing because I really didn't understand the difference between leasing and sales. But a year after leasing, it's like you're just helping landlords rent their house out.
Right.
I realized I was ready to play with the big boys.
Ooh, yeah.
And my journey has led me to I'm the big boy, and I'm the girl. I'm the woman that I wanted to be.
I love that so much. I love the windy path and when you just follow like what feels right and it leads you to like the best place. So I love that your journey was like that too. That's my favorite kind of story. But I kind of want to redefine your role a little bit, because I think when many people think of a realtor, they think of someone they call when they're ready to buy a house. They do showings and then you purchase and then you're done. But in my experience, I found this relationship can really be like an ongoing one in finding someone you trust as a resource who's your go-to person across many home purchases in sales. So you have this empowerment approach, and I would love to dive into that side of your mission a little bit and like hear what's fueling that passion to help women. Is this from your own personal experience, or just over time with the clients you've worked with, you started like wanting to do the empowerment angle?
Okay, so really in this question, there's two parts. The one is
many parts.
The one is the being a realtor with buyers and sellers. So I always tell my clients who work with me that I'm not your realtor just for this transaction. I'm your realtor for the rest of your real estate life. And because one transaction, you're going to want to keep buying real estate. We already know each other. We have the relationship. You trust me. The relationship is what really is it for me. I don't work with clients that I don't like. I only work with clients that I like and we vibe, because I want to be their guide and their leader for the rest of their real estate journey. Because I know what I'm doing. I live and breathe real estate every single day. This is my profession, so I can guide them. And the more I get to know them and the more their family grows, it just becomes so much better.
Yeah, you're not starting from scratch every single time. I love that.
Yeah, unless you hated the experience and you find a new realtor, but that never happens. And the other portion of the question was the why do I want to empower women, right, to do this? Yeah. It's because women are left out of the equation. I saw firsthand how amazing real estate can be for your personal use. Like when I bought my first home, I rented out 2 bedrooms. I lived that way for 4 years with my husband. And then we sold that house, and we made that the equity that we made in the house was ready for our down payment for our next house. And that was like a light bulb moment. That whole journey, I was like, why aren't more women doing this? Like, why are my friends spending thousands of dollars on renting a place when they could buy, only because they don't know about it, that they could be earning money? And like, I was sitting with this feeling, I didn't know really what to do with it. But at the same time, when I am helping buyers and sellers, they come to me and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They're scared, they're overwhelmed, they don't know. So I was finding myself like teaching them how to be a good buyer in general, like the ideas and the concepts, the steps and the strategies, the definitions, like before we were getting to a specific transaction. So all of this was like a light bulb moment. I was like, oh my God, I need to be the voice for these women. I need to teach them how to buy and own real estate correctly. Like, yes. And because I see myself in there and I see my friends in there, and I don't want women to be relying on husbands. Like the reality of our life is that we could be single later in our lives.
Right.
And I never want you to not know what to do, or like my husband take care of that. Like, it's not 1950s, ladies. It's like we need to take control as well.
Yeah. And being empowered to step out of a relationship is, important too. I think a lot of people stay because they don't know what to do. And then it's like, you just need to have that empowerment all around. So you have the choice, like it's your choice and you get to choose it for personal reasons, not for like, I have to stay because I'm stuck.
Exactly. And like, when women buy a house with their husbands, I teach them like how to protect themselves. I'm like, is your name on it? And how do you, if you're buying an LC, how do you protect yourself? Like, it's not just one-way street. It's definitely the empowerment piece.
Yes. Yeah. I think as women, like our financial autonomy has been an uphill battle for literally hundreds of years. The systems that have enforced this are obviously even more challenging when we talk about people of color and other demographics. But when our legal ownership of property, it's like no longer barred, like we're finally allowed to own property as women, which is ridiculous that we ever couldn't. But we still have lots of stigma and stereotypes that make it very challenging and at the very least intimidating for women when it comes to purchasing real estate. Can we just talk about maybe some of the specific challenges that we face as women when deciding to buy a house, maybe some of the ones you've seen from personal experience as you are working with women in real estate?
Well, the hurdle, I see a gap. I see a hurdle of women that are not working with me and should. And I see the hurdle because they're scared of the unknown. They, first of all, are scared of looking stupid, asking stupid questions, making stupid decisions. That stops them. And they just don't know like what the next steps are. I talk to my friends. My best friends, I'm a real estate agent, like I'm your resource, and they just don't ask me anything. And so I just think it's like the fear of the unknown. That's why I created the academy. But when after that hurdle, I think when they work with me, they're able to step into their power because like I'm their peer and I'm like sassy and I'm feminine, and they see me kind of leading the way. And so when they start working with me, I can see them stepping into their power, starting to ask the questions. And even yesterday I was on a coaching call with my clients and they're like, I know this is a stupid question, but, and I was like, why do we even do that to ourselves? Like, why do we even say that? Just fucking ask me the question.
Right. For real. It's like we undersell ourselves before we even have the chance to like fail. It's like we don't want to look like we don't know what we're doing. So we don't even speak up, which is, I mean, you just can't get very far if you're not.
And I wanted to say too, like it starts with ourselves. It starts with like we're having the confidence and empowerment to ask those things and go do the thing and tell your husband you're going 50-50 and, do the courses, and then the world can change. But if we don't start with ourselves, it's not going to go anywhere.
No, that's absolutely true. And it's like, it's okay not to know what you don't know, but you have to learn to ask the right questions to get the information. And if you're too scared to ask questions because you're not confident in yourself, like you're never going to progress and step into your power. So I love that you're encouraging women and femme presenting people to do that, because I think that's such an important piece. Like it's on one hand, we're talking about like gender pay gap and women getting paid the same, but then the whole back end is like investing and money management and growing that money once we do have it. And so I'm just excited that you're on that journey and really helping people do that.
I'm here for all of the questions.
Yes. So, okay, one thing that still blows my mind is that it wasn't until the mid-1970s that women could access credit independently without a man to co-sign her application. So, like, first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, I feel like this has had such huge implications when it comes to the fact that like most of our mothers and grandmothers were born into a world where they could literally not attain financial independence by leveraging things like credit. So even though it's not the case anymore, do you think that has created like generational thought patterns or beliefs that we have like passed down and maybe that we're still like fighting against today?
I think so, definitely. Like, who raised us?
Yeah.
What money patterns did we see? What money mindsets did we see? It's all about what we saw when we were children, and it's going to take a few generations for that to change. Like, if I ever have kids, they're going to see a totally different money situation, story, mindset than I saw from my immigrant parents. So I definitely do think it's going to take some time. Like, minds don't just change instantly like that.
Right.
It takes some time for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I feel like it's one of those things where like the more we can just show people, it's like, here's proof that that way of thinking doesn't have to be what you like cling on to and believe in. Like, here's proof that you can do it yourself. You know, whether you're doing it the right way with a partner and making sure things are 50-50 or however you're comfortable with that, or whether you're doing it on your own and you're like, I don't need a man or a partner. Like, I'm going to do it myself. It's like the more we can show that is like normal is the more that it like empowers people to let go. So
totally. I also think that it's okay for a woman to receive, like, all about femininity is choosing for yourself. So if whatever you want, owning that, I want sure, you can have your husband pay for everything, but that's what you decide. Or no, I don't want, that's what you decide. It's all about receiving and being powerful and confident in your journey.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's like, the choice is yours, but we're doing it intentionally. We're not making these choices by defaulting to a system and stereotypes that have been set up for us. Like, it's our choice.
Yeah. That's it.
I really
love
it.
That.
I love that. So there's so much of this that's obviously applicable to women purchasing property, like with their partner. But I kind of want to go the angle of like, how women and femme-presenting people can really be empowered to own real estate if they're doing it on their own. And so like, let's say I want to buy a house. Maybe I have some down payment saved up. Like, where the heck do I even start? Do I scroll around on Zillow and like...
No, you start with getting a badass realtor. That is the first step of your journey. Well, I mean, the journey really starts with mindset in my course. The first step is not finding a realtor. That's the second step. The first step is really your mindset piece, reflecting on the kind of woman you want to be, what kind of life you want to have. I mean, every woman should be doing that, no matter what she wants to do. So you have the reflection mindset piece. And then your first step is you find a bomb ass realtor. And there are actually steps and tips to do that. Really quickly, your realtor has to be local in the market you want to buy in. Like, if you're looking, I live in San Francisco. If you're looking to buy in San Francisco, you're not going to use an agent that's across the bridge a half an hour away. Like, no, because every market is so different. They need to know the market inside and out. You need to use an agent that you vibe with and you communicate well and you have a good time with, and they show leadership, confidence, and experience. And the way you go about finding them is it's a journey. This is your job to find someone that's going to be a leader, represent you, negotiate for you, teach you about that market, guide you through the transaction. Like, you're looking for this person. Don't sidestep this piece. A lot of people go straight to looking on Zillow, open houses, scrambling to find an agent, but really find your leader. And I do it a number of ways. I mean, now my clients come to me pretty much 100% referral based. But if you're new and you don't have anyone to give you a referral, you start on social media. Hashtag San Francisco real estate, hashtag San Francisco realtor. Who's using those hashtags but real estate agents? So you find some couple people that you like their, what they're doing. And then you reach out to them. Hey, I'm a first time home buyer. I'm looking for a realtor. Do you mind if we have a chat? Boom. You have a chat with like 4 or 5 realtors. And then you're kind of explaining your situation to them. That chat is like 20, 30 minutes. You're not asking them about how's the market? Could I get anything for $1 million? Like, that's irrelevant. You're trying to find someone to work with. So you're telling them briefly about your situation and you're listening to them. And what you're listening for is, do they know their shit? Are they explaining things to you like that you can understand? Do they show confidence, leadership? Are they nice? Do you like them? And then you can be like, where do you live? Where do you work? Do you buy real estate? Do you have a team? Who am I going to be talking with? Do you work with buyers and sellers? And then you're going to really be able to narrow it down. Once you narrow it down, then your first time home buyer meeting, and then the whole day will take you through the process. So that's the first step. Second step is finding a lender, getting pre-approved for a mortgage. Once you find your real estate agent will hook you up with local lenders.
Yeah. And then we're ready to look. Like once you know,
yeah, because getting pre-approved is a whole process. Like it's not just what you can afford, but it's actually what you want to pay, what you're comfortable paying. You have to find the perfect balance. You and your lender will find the perfect balance of down payment and monthly payments that are comfortable for you. Once you know how much you're looking for, then you go out looking.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously the most logical, strategic way to do it. It just, I hear so many people getting thrown into like, I looked on Zillow, I set up a Zoom call meeting, and then there was this realtor. And so I just picked them and went with them. It's like, what? No.
I know. People are even telling me those stories. And I'm like, aren't you embarrassed? Like, why are you telling me this?
Right. But then it's like, if you really don't know what you're doing and that's your only frame of reference, like you might not know that that's even like, not the best way. So I'm just glad we're, breaking all that down. But when it comes to like the lending thing, so I feel like when people think about mortgages, they think about like 20% down. I need 2 years of income history to qualify. What about women who are missing both or one of those things? Are there still options for them when it comes to purchasing a home?
Oh, yes. So I'm not a licensed mortgage broker. I can just tell you from my experience, but you can go as low as 3.5% down in certain areas and for certain price point of houses. But having the income, I think every lender is going to require at least 2 years of showing some kind of income, maybe more, but you're going to have a down payment, but that can be low. And there's down payment assistance programs. There's literally, if you type in first time home buyer down payment assistance programs in the state that you live, you can apply to get that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or you can put down whatever you have, but your lender will work with you for that. Your lender will work with you on that. But I always stress as well, like your first house is the hurdle. It's the hardest. You're just trying to get your foot in the market. So if you have to have investors helping you, like family or friends, the way that you have to think about it changes. You're not just like, oh, I need help. I can't afford this house. Can you help me pay for it? But you're actually giving them an opportunity to invest their money.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm going in on this real estate investment. Do you want to invest with me? And this is how much you're going to get after X amount of time. That's how you change it and word it. And then you can afford much more.
Yeah. I love reframing it that way because I have like a finance background, as you know. So just taking it from like personal, like real estate is not a bill. It's not like your phone bill. It is a investment and you pay it monthly, but reframing that thought to I'm investing, this is an asset instead of this is an expense. It's like a whole different level, a whole big shift.
Yeah. And it's not even reframing it. It's just opening your eyes because it literally is an asset.
Yeah. So is there a major difference from buying a home as like your residence and buying a home as like an actual investment property that you could rent out or flip? And if so, are there strategies or tips for like navigating that difference?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. So if you're buying your primary residence, you can get your mortgage is one way. It can be 20, it can be low, 3% down, 5% down, 10, 20. And then you just live in the house and there's things that you're going to have to learn, like maintenance. You have to have a reserve account for maintenance. Toilets do break and it's fine. It's not the seller's fault if you have a leak. Like that's part of owning a home. Right. And then we change it up with if you're buying it to rent it out. That's what you mean when you're saying as an investment, right?
Yeah. Like maybe you're just going to fix it up and try to resell it, or you might rent it out and have people live there. And
so if you're buying your second property, you're putting way more down payment. Your lender is going to require that you put more down payment because it's not your primary residence. For some lenders, I think it's a minimum of 25%, but I'm not sure. So it's a higher down payment if you're actually disclosing that it's your second if it's not your primary residence. So if you're buying a residence just to rent it out, you need to do your due diligence, because this isn't just, buy, put renters, forget it. No, this is your actual business. So you need to hire a landlord attorney to tell you what are the rights of a landlord, what are the rights of the tenant, how do you write a lease? Like, can you help me write a lease? You need to know your rights, absolutely, because San Francisco has very strict tenant landlord laws that are very different from Southern California, that are different from anywhere. So that's the first step. Once you understand your rights, then it's time for you to start the process of finding a tenant. That's extensive interviews and background checks and applications and calling and doing your due diligence and making the lease agreement. And then setting up systems for them to pay their rent. And you have to have like plumbers and handymen on call, because inevitably when things break, they're going to call you, and you have to do it very timely.
Right.
So it is a business, but it could make a lot of sense. It does. But I suggest buying primary residence first, maybe renting out a room to a roommate. And then once your house grows in value, grows in equity, you've made $200,000, you can put a down payment on another property, and you can either move there, rent your first one, or rent the second one. So after that, you've like kind of gotten the hang of owning a house. So it won't be such a daunting task of buying your second home.
I love that. I love like the slow build concept. Like, it doesn't have to be everything all at once. Like, ease into it, learn as you go, surround yourself with people to give you like the right advice. And then you got this. Like, you don't have to know it all day one.
Yeah, it's a lot of information now that I'm saying it. It's a lot, but starting slow, getting a coach to walk you through it is really it.
Yeah. But I think that's like really what's so beautiful about your work is it is a lot of information. And when people are new to the space, that's why it's so easy to be intimidated. But with someone like you guiding, it's like, look, we don't need to know all of it. We need to know what works for you, for your situation. So I love that. Let's talk about your programs, and then we'll do some like FAQs, because I have a bunch of like beginner questions from listeners all about this. But how did you like design them, and which one of them is like a good next step for everyone listening that is getting like so pumped up to buy a home?
How did I design the programs? Well, it's literally, I took all of what I've been saying to clients and educating them throughout the years down on paper. And when I got it all down, I'm like, damn, this is like 6 weeks worth of information. There's no way that I can give this in an hour or two session. So I just broke it down, and it started as like a one-on-one. So I was doing clients one-on-one, and it was lasting for like 3.5 hours. And I was just like, this is too much for both of us. Then I broke it up to 2 days, and then it progressed to what it is now. I've recorded 12 videos, and then we do 2 live group calls in between that time. And they've got downloadable PDFs and journal prompts, and we have the private Facebook community. So it works best like that for everyone. So, but if you don't want like the live group component, I have a totally self-paced course, which is the 10 videos, totally self-paced. You can do that whenever. So that's kind of the progression of the program. And it's literally just to teach women how to buy your first home, starting from step 1 to the very last step, and like all a bunch of knowledge in between just to get you like ready to go. More women homeowners is the way we're going.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, we have a bunch of like first time homeowner questions as it relates to working with a realtor and exploring buying a home. So the first one is around like, how you help guide through the process, which we've talked about a little bit, but you're not just doing like home showings and like paperwork. You have such a much bigger, more comprehensive role. So what are some of the things that you as a realtor help out with, maybe that people wouldn't expect if they haven't been in the process before?
Right. So to break it down, the role is I'm your leader, I'm your guide, I'm your teacher, I'm your mentor, I'm your inspiration, and I'm your motivation to keep on going. So we start from the very beginning. You are breaking down what you want, and I'm teaching you how to do it. And when the whole process, I'm there to guide you, talk to you about things that you never even thought about, guide you through the contract. What are the terms? What's the process? What are some strategies that we can do to help get you the home? representing you and your leader every step of the way. Like, you cannot do this alone. We hire professionals to do everything for us, and we need to hire a professional for this. I'm like, I'm sometimes a psychiatrist and like the best friend and the telling you how it is and the parent. And sometimes I'm like everything as well as explaining the contracts and handling everything. And I'm doing the negotiations, and because like the seller and the buyer never see each other. They never speak. They never have any communication. It's always between the real estate agents.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like nice to have hands off. Like, you don't have to be in it every step of the way, like doing all the work. So yeah, that's really good. Okay. The next one is about just must know tips for women that are purchasing a home for the first time. Like, are there any things that you run into a lot where it's like people just really struggle with this? And here's what I would tell them.
One of the number one things is to understand the difference between list price and sales price. A lot of people, women and men, they don't understand this. They think that a home, just because it's listed, it's marketed, let's say for $1 million, that's the price it's going to sell at. And then they're confused why it sells over that. And they're like, wow, I just got outbid. Yeah. And you're like, really? You got outbid because you didn't know what it was going to sell for. Like, you didn't know the real price.
Yeah.
So that goes back to finding a super local realtor, because you don't determine price. You and your realtor together determine price. Getting a good realtor early on in the process. Like I said, a lot of people skip this process, don't pay it much attention because they don't really see the value of having a good realtor behind you, like having your back in your corner. So that's huge. Like, take the time to find a realtor that's right for you. Step one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's totally true. I feel like there's like a weird, like, especially with people that are like very into DIY, like I can do it all myself. It's like, oh, well, why would I pay someone to do that? I'll just figure it out myself. But the analogy I like for this is like, you go to Target and it's like, you could get a cart and have it hold everything for you and guide you. You can hold everything yourself, like absolutely be my guest. But if you know that you don't just get the one thing you're going to Target for, you end up with an armful of things, especially if your me things are dropping on the ground. Like, just get the cart. It's going to be so much easier on your journey. So that's like a silly analogy, but it is like worth it to invest in guidance and coaching, especially when you're making what usually is the biggest investment that you've made thus far. So
it's so totally much more too, because it's like, you don't know the legal stuff. You don't know the market nuances. You don't know what contingencies mean. You don't know what escrow is. You don't know what title is. Like, we are your market knowledge, how to actually do this. Like, you literally can't do it by yourself. Like, it's against the law. You either have to have a real estate agent or an attorney.
Yeah. Okay. So the last question is about like the current market, just like macro level. Because there's so much buzz going around about, housing prices being high. Is the market going to crash? Like everything that's happened with like the pandemic. So how are you helping people navigate that? And has the home buying process changed significantly in light of like the moratoriums and the high prices and all of that? Or is it fundamentally the same?
Well,
or just in like a cycle?
I have always done real estate for the past decade in San Francisco. And San Francisco is one of the most expensive, competitive markets in the world. So I'm used to it. Okay. It's never been low here.
Right.
It's always been competitive. You quickly, you have to, move fast. It's always very fast here. So now the rest of the country is kind of speeding up and feeling that. And so when I talk to my partner, like in Denver, and she's telling me it's crazy and like 5 offers and it's going above, I'm like, and that's what's been happening here like forever.
Right.
So that's what's happening. But in terms of, is the market going to crash? Do you know that that's the number one question I've heard throughout my career? People ask me that every single day of every month of every year, no matter what's happening since I started in like 2010 to today. And when the market does crash, like when I give them examples of when it did crash in 2008 and when it kind of crashed a little bit in this pandemic, I'm like, well, did you buy? You've been waiting for a crash. Were you ready? Did you jump on that opportunity? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so then why are you waiting for the next one? You're not going to jump on that opportunity too. It's like the longer you wait, the more money you're kind of just like losing as an opportunity. Because like the longer you wait, someone else is going to buy. They're going to set those new prices for the area. They're going to grow their equity. It's not going to stop the longer you wait. And so like, just buy, because the market, what is a crash? Like you probably won't be ready, because when the market crashes, it's devastating for everyone. You will lose your job or something like that. You won't want to buy.
Right. Like you're not going to be ready to buy if it's affecting everyone. Yeah,
exactly. So I just say buy. Like don't take that word crash out of your vocabulary. Like after you've bought a couple homes, when you notice a little correction, buy. I bought a home when this COVID thing happened because I saw that, and I had a couple of buyers that I was like pushing, and they're so grateful that they did. But the majority of people go with the crowd. When everybody stops, that's when they stop, instead of doing the opposite.
Yeah, I like that. It's like take the centered, balanced approach. Like don't act off of fear, because that's making the decision for the total wrong reason. Like the choice you make should be based off of like, what do you want? What do you want out of this home? What do you want it to bring you? And that's what we go with, not like, oh no, I need to buy right now or else.
Yep, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so we're obviously giving away the course. We're very excited. But where else can everyone connect with you online if they want to like follow along on social media, or maybe find your website and your information?
Well, I'm on Instagram pretty heavily. I'm on Pinterest pretty heavily. Those are the two places that you can really find me. I'm on there like all the time, and I answer DMs, and I love it. Of course, I have a website too. It's just like very pretty and has a lot of my information.
Yes, of course. And then your podcast.
Oh my gosh, I have a podcast.
Right? You have a podcast.
I have a podcast, and you were a guest on it the other day. It's called Real Estate Queens, and we talk about buying real estate as a woman empowerment, everything around all that. And then women around that industry that are doing badass things, such as yourself.
Yes, I love it so much. Oh my gosh, this episode is full of amazing information. I am beyond excited to share this and give everyone a springboard. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and for sitting down with all of your knowledge. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I loved it.
Thanks for listening. And if you've got more episodes to catch up on, binge on. Don't let me stop you. But if you've got a second, you should come say hi on Insta at MakeSpacePod. And if you're an overachiever, you can also leave a review and I'll love you forever. If you're new here, hit that follow button to officially become a DIY queen and join all the amazing humans tuning in every week.